Okay, so this impeachment may be wrapping up, but don't get too comfortable. Here to discuss are former Hillary Clinton campaign senior advisor Zac Petkanas and historian Julian Zelizer. Zac, why are Congressman Al Green, Karen Bass, Paul Begala, some other Democrats teasing this idea that impeachment isn't just a one-time thing?
Well, look, no prosecutor would ever tell a criminal, look, I know we indicted you once, but we're obviously not going to do it again, so go feel free to go commit more crimes here and there. Yeah. Look, we make indictments based on crimes that happen. We make impeachments that are based on impeachable offenses. And if Donald Trump continues to engage in impeachable conduct, that's what he can expect. That said, from a political perspective, I would really hope that we would all focus on the impeachment at hand at this time. The American people still need to be educated about all the facts that we know about Trump using military aid to pressure Ukraine to interfere in the 2020 election.
Too late, sir. Julian, to impeach or to impeach again, that seems to be the question. Is this a realistic prospect?
It is realistic. Even though politically you could see why Democrats wouldn't want to do it again, the Senate will still be under the control of Republicans probably. Even if a minority, they could still stop this. The president is the same person, and he will be the same person in the next few years. And he's not someone who restrains himself when it comes to presidential power. So like with Ukraine, I think he will test the limits of what Congress will do. And now the House has set a marker. They have said, Democrats, we don't accept this. So if it happens again, they might have to act.
Well, and to Julian's point, Zac, I mean, Democrats from Nancy Pelosi on down have said, this is not partisan, this is not about politics, this is our constitutional obligation. So if Trump crimes again, won't it again be their constitutional obligation to do it every time?
Look, that's exactly right. I mean, look, I think it's really important to distinguish between the two types of offenses that Donald Trump can do. I mean, one is policy differences. Like, we don't like plant closures in Michigan, but we're not going to impeach him over that. But, you know, the reason why the reason why the Ukraine scandal is so unique, it's that it's about rigging the 2020 election. So this is not an issue that can be resolved with upcoming elections. It needs to be resolved now. And if he engages in similar conduct, which, you know, Rudy Giuliani last week was still in a foreign country engaging in the same activity. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. We'll have to go through this whole thing again.
Julian, Zac says this cannot be resolved by a vote in November. I think a lot of people would take issue with that this should be, look, the House is going to do its job. The Senate's going to do its job. Whether you agree with the way they vote, they're going to do their jobs in taking a vote. A lot of people think, okay, the next court of opinion should be the public's November 2020.
Well, that will probably happen. So I'm thinking more if he's reelected, only in that the window is short. I do think there'll be some breathing time that Democrats, too, would want, even if the president does something egregious in the next few months, because it's election time, because they will have that opportunity to see him voted out of office. But if he's reelected, I think that's when this all could come together again.
Zac, Julian makes the point, of course, that this president doesn't restrain himself. Impeachment, in part, is meant to constrain the president's bad behavior. I'm sure it will not. In fact, Trump has said he's done nothing wrong. He's attempted to do it again. So what impact does impeachment have, if not to curb the behavior it is meant to have impeached?
Look, I think at this point we're talking about people's legacies. You know, the votes that members of Congress are taking next Wednesday, that is the only vote that most of them are ever going to be remembered for. It is that vote. It is going to live with them for the rest of their lives and after they have passed. And so that's what we're talking about here. But no, I think that the system has shown that it is not able to handle when one party consistently acts in bad faith from top to bottom. It's not acting as a deterrent. And I think that's something we're going to have to grapple with after the Trump presidency.
But, I mean, it did change national opinion. National opinion in terms of impeachment and even removal is pretty amazing where it is. It's as high as Nixon faced. And so this process has defined President Trump. That will matter in the election. Not just the Republican base matters. The rest of the country matters. And it will matter in setting a template if he does this again. Because a lot of the public does not trust what he does with his power. And I think that's how it could have an impact.
So interesting, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this again. Zac, Julian, really appreciate your insight. Okay.
Thank you.
Up next.